mid lane and shoot for getting Candy that Syndra.
Seemed to be the key for any of the games that they did win, was having Candy play Syndra. And so definitely will be a bit of a focus. On the side of BBQ, now that they're on red side, Kalista is an obvious ban, but if you want to push CJ away from this hyper carry, protect the hyper carry, Kog'Maw or Twitch, that kind of composition, they might find themselves trying to ban out other supports, but as I say that, they go ahead and take away Cho'Gath.
They could, but they should also consider striking at Ghost himself. Why not prioritize the guy that has been struggling? Of course, they looked so different before, but 5 games on Tristana, only 1 on Kog'Maw and 1 on Twitch for this specific tournament. And hey, with that last game, it's actually 6 games of Trist being the most self-protective AD carry. And we get members of Kongdu spectating their secret. And I don't actually know the name of the man on the left.
Secret stands out. I'm also at a loss for who that is, but I'm sure there's someone spamming it in chat right now.
They took the advice. They took away the Tristana, but now Ghost is onto the Kog'Maw. If the composition is lacking the Lulu, the Jannas, and potentially the Karmas, we might get to see a Ghost that is out of position, struggling to get auto attacks into team fights. So a big test for BBQ now that they've switched gears with Ghost.
Will we finally see Jarvan? Yes, we will. Winged will be picking it up here, moving away from the Gragas that he played in game number 1. Wasn't confident about that, even with this fantastic cast. Him getting caught, his getting caught there in the river did lead to a lot of his members getting caught out by the wall and the rest of BBQ, so perhaps just wants to change it up.
Well, I think CJ went into game 1 with the same approach as their matches against BBQ, which was just wait it out. We know that BBQ was struggling to be proactive, even though their composition can be. Let's not go for that. We'll just sit back, relax, try to get some farm, some lane advantages, cue the Zyra Ezreal. We'll scale with a Trinity for spikes, then have double AD carries. But they just got hit out of nowhere from BBQ, and just like that, the Lucian comes in. Favorable matchup into mid lane. Temp
I love this.
Is no longer playing around. No more Mr. Nice Guy Galio Karma.
It's like a lot of the things that we were saying in their matches against Kongdu are beginning to be realized by BBQ. You know, throw Tempt on something that can carry. Give him the Talia, give him the Lucian. And, well, his Talia game in game number 1 was fantastic. Lucian into Corki, as you mentioned, favorable matchup. Would expect him to do very well against Candy.
Look at how much expectations he set up on himself. Now, obviously, there's still plenty of time to switch these around, but he's packing Ignite in Lucian. Sometimes you get to see heal, exhaust, but Candy, you know he's going to likely take that teleport. So the advantage in terms of pressure that Tempt would have with this offensive summoner would be so large that I think BBQ might be able to get away with replicating the start of game 1.
Yeah, hopefully for them. Lots of focus on the supports being taken away. We said that perhaps that's not the best idea up against Pure, who has played a plethora of different choices in that support role.
I think you grab the Karma here, or Taric instead. So they've gone back to Taric, and something interesting about Taric is that he actually also classifies as an Ardent Sensor support.
Can't ban them all. I suppose you could if you spent all 10 bans, but they're not going to do that.
Wish for.
Rakan seems like the obvious leftover choice here afterwards, so they go ahead and pick up that. But question is, what will be the top lane? What is Sol going to bring in blind? It looks like it will be the Maokai.
Makes sense. You play it safe. It's the same composition, really. Double AD carry. Survive, group up, and then you've got hard engage. But hey, it worked game 1, and this is the BBQ that we needed to see. This is the strategy that works in promotion. If it ain't broke, you don't fix it. It worked the first time. It worked the second game. You keep playing this matchup. You need to force CJ Entus' hand. So Crazy taking Jax. We already know how it went down. He had a great laning phase, transitioned into red buff, switched to the solo long lane, and never looked back.
Yeah, and he has Sejuani with him once again. Bono seemingly supporting him a lot, especially early on before Baron was really a factor on the map. So we'll see if Bono can kind of be his little buddy once again here for game number 2.
So curious to see these compositions for Ghost, where typically you would see most teams focus on helping the AD carries like Cog, Twitch, Triss to be as strong as they can, but just for this specific matchup, they put 3 carries. You've got Jax, you've got Lucian, you've got Kog'Maw. This is something that is unlikely to work in a lot of moments. It's a fragile comp, but against CJ, against their passivity, it worked wonders. And CJ, well, they're looking down the barrel of the same gun once again.
We're gonna have to see something better out of Candy's Corki this time around. He didn't show too much in game number 1, never really got an opportunity to. It didn't get late enough before CJ was already on the back foot, but now he's facing an even harder matchup going into Tempt's Lucian. And Tempt did not bring Ignite. I will spoil that for you guys. He did bring the heal instead, so we'll see how he can do up against Corki in that mid lane. Always happy to see Pugmaw on the Rift as well. But either way, guys, we are going to be jumping into game number 2 of BBQ versus CJ Entus right now. Well, they're fighting back, the CJ fans. They want to cheer their way into a win here in game number 2.
Cheering does influence at times, but there are booths. So maybe the booth stopped the sound. I've never been inside an LCK booth like these, although the ones I were in are much more antique.
Antique.
Yeah.
Back in the Bronze Age of League of Legends.
Oh, yeah.
Where Crumbs' career was born. Crumbs is actually a League of Legends dinosaur.
Well, I think by terms, by relevant and contextual terms, that's quite true. Mm-hmm. And speaking of things that are true, in the downtime, I looked up Bono facts.
Oh, great.
Not on the player, though. Those are harder to find than of the musician. Can you guess at what age he joined U2? How old do you think he was?
It's been around for a long time. They were famous like in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
Probably like 17.
Wow, you're spot on. He's 16.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Joined a band at 16.
There you go. I feel like a lot of the great bands, though, did start when they were very young.
You gotta start when you're young, when your brain's malleable, when the obsession is something that doesn't get criticized, something that you just do. You got.
Well, it does when it gets in the way of schoolwork.
Sure.
We can talk about our education system again some other time.
You don't get criticized as heavily at that point. You don't got to pay taxes. Mm-hmm. Your mom's still feeding you, hopefully.
Yes, hopefully.
You got a room.
Yeah, it's a good time to start up stuff, including being a League of Legends professional.
They always say, when you're a kid, yeah, you complain now, but you should be cherishing this time. And I gotta say, I agree. When you start laying down the pros and cons, you get a whole lot of pros.
What are the cons, then, of being a kid? Lack of freedom? He missed that candy, by the way.
Lack of independence.
No candy for Candy tonight. Anything else outside of lack of freedom?
Lack of independence, being too young to do certain things, not having your own place. I mean, it's got its quote-unquote downsides, because at the time you just want to do other things.
Yeah. I mean, once you go off to college, you're pretty much set. You get the all the freedom you could really need. I wonder what the average age of people watching the stream is right now.
12.
There you go. Spot on, no doubt.
Well,
Okay.
an engaged bot.
There is that Ignite coming out. He's
Whoa.
going for it. Here comes Veritas, but the heal comes in and he loses it. Oh man, that is huge mistake going over to the side of BBQ in first blood onto Kog'Maw.
The Tristana choosing to jump in, just handing freebie to Ghost. Another boost of confidence for himself, survives the all-in and gets a first blood out of it with Targons. He had the Targons and won that.
That's unbelievable. Just enough sustain comes out. I mean, the barrier, the heal, the Taric heal, it all comes together for just enough to keep him alive.
And I gotta say, well, first before I say that, let's look at how this engage happened. I'd imagine Rakan goes in and the counter engage comes through. So they jump in, they don't get stunned by Taric. The triangulation wasn't quite right, but Veritas getting baited there by the shields and the heals out of Totoro. And this is a highly difficult, highly defensive bottom lane to kill. You've got heal, you've got barrier, and I think that Veritas is the kind of player that is becoming frustrated with this. The fact that they are not able to get all-ins against BBQ to get these kills online. He wants to get some kills. He wants some action, switching up the champion pool, but he's now realized that, hey, this is just going to be the meta that we're playing right now, and has succumbed to first item, or the first purchase, a Cole.
It's really unfortunate, you know, you would never really see that at the top level. You got the barrier and the heal and the flash. You don't need the kill. You don't need to do that. You're going to have so much pressure in bot lane. You're going to be miles ahead.
Especially
and any rocket jumps in and dies.
When your jungler is Jarvan. You've got a higher pressure jungler. I mean, a Kog'Maw Taric, they couldn't be easier to kill with that kind of combination. But hey, he's now on the back end, and he's likely just going to be stuck farming for a very long time.
I will mention, I mean, it is one mistake. It's a big one for sure, but I do want to mention that CJ does have a sub for the AD role. It is Avenger. I'm not sure how many games he did play over in Challenger. We'll see if I have any stats on him.
I don't think there's any chance that they'll sub him in.
Yeah, there's no stats on him, so it's probably just a name on the roster.
Another Bono.
Another Bono. Well, Bono joined 9 days ago for you guys who were joining the stream late, replacing Bless, and I guess he's been looking more consistent, less mistakes. There was that one time he face-checked the brush, but I mean, it happens.
At least the last hitting has been a lot more consistent for these teams, and we got our first lane gank here. Here it goes.
Oh, leap strike in, and so much CC coming out of the Maokai. He is going to heal on up with that passive, and you can see that Wing doesn't even commit to it. Not even level 6 at this point. And so Jax does get away.
More like a lane push there. Surprise Jarvan pushing the lane, but showing like that does end up costing the red buff for him, and now Sejuani's starting to get ahead. Starting to get to the point where she wants to be. Sure, some early kills would have been nice, but when your bottom lane already pulls ahead, you've got a winning top lane matchup, mid lane that also is applying pressure. You don't need to do a whole lot as a jungler. Just keep farming, let them have vision, and you'll know you'll be in a good spot for the mid game, late game to be a good tank and initiator.
Liking that move by Bono, not scared to do stuff like that in a couple of his first televised games, I would assume.
I really want him to change the name. I can't stop thinking of the music.
I just don't like when you name yourself after something. I'm sure he, I don't know, there's no Korean word like Bono, you know? There's nothing in Korean where you could say, oh, he chose it because it means this.
And there's very little.
Literally, he's probably going to get in the interview if BBQ wins, and they're going to ask him, and he's going to be like, "Yeah, I like Bono from YouTube."
There's no way he says that. There's no way. I think.
Why else would he have picked the name?
It's got to be a word. What if it's his own name is Bono? We don't know.
I don't think that's a name. I mean, If it is, sure, prove me wrong, but I don't know.
People name their kids weird things.
It is the 2 syllables of a first Korean name that you would normally see.
Right. What if that's the case? Or
could be Kim Bono.
The common thing is that they heard an English word and butchered it so badly that it became something else.
There is stuff like pro bono, you know, where you do stuff without being paid.
It is. So he's saying that he's free.
Yeah. Maybe he's just playing on BBQ pro bono.
Ladies, what? He's free. That's pro bono means free.
Yeah, but usually in the sense that he's not getting paid. Maybe this is his trial run.
Holy, that could be it.
Yeah.
I think
that's what I was.
Yeah, I think he just hit it. He's boosting BBQ pro bono.
Yeah, pro bono. Here we go. Comes on in.
If any of you get ideas, never do that. Actually, you need to get paid for your efforts.
Yeah. Consult an esports lawyer. Got a bunch of those out there nowadays. Yeah, I don't think he's playing pro bono, but you never know. You never know.
He's at least getting chicken, so.
Yeah, that's true. Everybody on BBQ gets chicken. Pro bono. Maybe this is his trial run. They're like, hey, we'll try you out here in promotions. If you play with us and we qualify for LCK, we'll give you a contract.
Yeah, could very well be.
I doubt they're allowed to play like without a real contract though. But we do have a fight down here. Veritas getting very low. Here is going to counter engage, and the teleport comes in from Candy. He does have that Cosmic Radiance is coming in. Bono comes in. Will he lay down the ultimate? He's not going to go for it as it is 3v4, and they were able to disengage.
Meantime, Jax beat Maokai up here, but Maokai's pretty strong right now. He's got minion advantage. Jax isn't quite spiked as he was before with the Sheen. He's building more for sustain, switching up the build. I think he's going for the Vamp Scepter at least early on, which is an indication of a later to come Blade of the Ruined King. And back to the gank and bond side on Bono, I think it's refreshing to see that he's holding on to the ultimate. He recognized that
this time it made sense.
This time it made a lot of sense because more people from CJ had committed. They could get away from it. Lucian would be able to make it back to lane and maintain pressure. So overall, it's a good decision, and the grievous wounds onto the Jax aren't impacting this matchup a whole lot.
He's got his ultimate this time around for this 2v2. Will he lay it down? The stun coming in, the culling, and whoa! Trying to ult the Dragon on the right side. Dragon's getting angry now. It's like, what the hell, man? I wasn't part of this fight.
Trying to get as many members involved there, but no, it was Winged flashing the ultimate, even though it looked hilarious, but he's back up for more blood.
He's back and forces a flash out, but there's the stun with that range. Will go down, Tempt picking up the kill, and Bono is all over them tonight.
As you said, welcome to the Bono zone. He fakes it out onto the Jarvan. The real target was faking out Candy, and he ends up dying, and it's a kill that has way more value than actually taking down Wing, so he gets the last laugh, and hey, he didn't even need ultimate for it.
Yeah. And CJ is not really living up to the challenge tonight. And yeah, I mean, he's just going super aggressive. He has no idea Bono's there.
Even canceled the Valkyrie. I think he got baited by Tempt's low mana pool. And
yeah.
How many times have we seen Corkis get their Valkyries canceled as of late? Because it seems like every single Corki, when ganked, dies for the same reasons.
Seems that way. Just totally unaware as they get ganked there in the mid lane. So Bono was going really deep.
Look at this roam from CJ though. What are they looking for? I think they're trying to get in different lanes, but why? There's not a whole lot of reason behind this move. I thought that BBQ would respond to it. Yeah, they did. So it wasn't on the base timing. They're just switching things up, going to the top side. This might have to do around the Rift Herald, because it is a Cloud Dragon. That Herald early on might have more value to both these teams in order to crack down the mid lane turret. But if they're basing here, It's like they're just trying to avoid bot lane at all costs. And yep, there they are. And the one who gets the worst end of all this is Maokai having to switch back and forth. Like, hey, you want me to switch again? Come on, guys.
Well, he will push the lane before he goes. Tristana will not get back
he's
in time.
slow pushing, so there might be okay, this looks like a move for first break. Why did he do that? What? You could have had first brick.
Oh, no.
You could have had first brick, so this could have been what you
Where's
needed.
Where's he going?
What?
Oh, boy. Okay, we do have the counter engage, though. Now it's 3-on-2. It all makes sense now as Bono is being focused down, but that is a tanky Sejuani. But they do get the flash out of both the jungle and the top lane, and now CJ's got 4 members on this turret.
Yeah, so now it makes sense as a first brick push, but BBQ not quite there for the jump. That should have been so much easier to execute had he not actually pushed that minion wave. You would have had a slower crash, more minions. You didn't have to go that hard, and that's a kind of minimal play that looks like it didn't matter, but it had a huge implication on what could have been a couple of kills going CJ's way. A dive onto Candy, though.
He's going for it. There's no Valkyrie available. Oh, boy. He did Valkyrie, actually.
He faced
on the wall.
He botched the Valkyrie on the wall.
Oh, boy.
He lit the fire to his own pyre.
Nice confidence there out of Tempt. Not even sure if he was expecting to get the kill, but as you mentioned, failed Valkyrie and no flash for Candy means that it was an easy pickup for our mid laner, who is now 2-0 with Blade finished. And here they go, they're turning it around. Soul is getting stunned for days. Cosmic Radiance coming in just to make sure nobody goes down, and that's going to be 280 carries on the side of BBQ that are now 2-0.
And the Rift Herald, the swap that CJ initiated, they were shooting for first break, and sure, they got it, but they had to pay dearly for it, losing multiple members, losing out on the Herald, will lose a mid. And let's take another look at this one. So he burns the package on this, but how does he actually not choose to do anything about this? He just lets Tempt have his way with him. Doesn't even answer any damage back. Lucian, yeah, that was bad.
If you just Valkyrie over him, the culling has to be canceled, and he's eating so much damage from the turret already.
Any direction, anything but what he did was better.
He panicked. It happens.
It's like you get a multiple choice, 4 choices, and you just somehow you even miss to put it in the right spot. You just didn't even register in the machine.
Yeah. You use a pen instead of a pencil.
Right. You made mistakes that weren't listed.
Yeah. Well, CJ, they want to fight back. They want to push this top turret, but even Crazy getting some support from the Taric is holding it for now. And meanwhile, Tempt has just come down here by himself into the bottom lane up against Maokai. What can Maokai really do against this this really fed Lucian already?
He can do what trees can do to guns. Nothing. So he just has to sit there and wait. The life steal is going to be too much, and here's a dive.
There's the culling and all that CC. Not going to be lined up because the teleport comes through. They do respect that. But look at that. Teleport comes in, and Rift Herald is used mid.
And Kog'Maw by himself. This is a rare sight to see. The dog off his leash, and he's got Herald with him.
Oh, man. This dog is going nuts. He's going to take out the turret. Breaking away from his chains. Cosmic Radiance coming down, trying to save this turret. It will for now. The TP comes in, and Soul wants to continue. Crazy gonna leap Striker Rake, but it looks like Totoro will not be as lucky as they do swarm him 4-on-1. But
why in the world is Ghost rotating top? He could have been in mid lane taking down the tier 2 out of CJ Entus. Now it's Bono with the right move there. Oh, Bono. The shot call could have been huge. This could have been BBQ getting even further ahead, countering the play out of CJ Entus. But hey, they do get the first turret in the bot side out of Lucian. They get the one middle. So it's not all that bad. It just could have been better.
Yeah, some small mistakes here from BBQ. We can't expect them to be perfect, especially out of these promotion teams. But overall, definitely a nice series of events here for BBQ.
Expect perfection at all costs.
I have to settle. It's what I'm used to here. This week has been settling week.
I refuse.
These teams, they want to prove that they can make it into LCK. So far, it's been... I feel like Hongdu's kind of close to proving it. But even they, after winning promotions, I feel like they didn't.
Well, what do you mean? They proved it. They're in.
I mean, they proved that they can make it in through the challenger teams and through the, the bottom of LCK. But I don't know. We'll see how they do. They did definitely fight back to get into LCK, but I'm not 100% convinced just yet, we can say.
I mean, are they going to be a top team in next year in the LCK? Highly unlikely.
Well, you got to start somewhere.
Exactly.
We haven't had any like Royal Rotor teams, right? That just make it into LCK and then win the championship.
Not in LCK. That has happened in many other leagues, though. It has happened to G2, Cloud9. I think those are the only ones, the only two orgs that come in and legitimately first year win it all.
Okay. Well, Hongdu already missed that opportunity as they were in LCK before, but looking for a better performance compared to Spring Split of this year. Either way, we do have CJ versus BBQ on the map, and we actually have 5 kills at 20 minutes. A kill every 4 minutes. I like it.
And they've been doing their homework, but this 3-man squad out of CJ is way worse than what it looks like. These kids shouldn't be out tonight, Valdez. Trist and Corky need to be staying in lane farming. They are too important for this composition. In fact, without them, this composition falls apart flat on its face. You gotta have Corky and Trist farm, and they're already falling behind when it comes to CS compared to their counterparts, and they're behind in kills if that wasn't enough.
Yeah, they definitely need to be farming. They need to keep up. It's not looking so good for them so far. BBQ 4,000 ahead in terms of the gold, even on equal towers at this point. Ghost with the respect. It seems like he knows that Maokai's in there.
This is so good for BBQ. They just have to look at CJ, but a fight starts.
Okay, they're trying to get onto Candy here. Wayne's coming in the back. He's going to trap 3 members of BBQ. But look at the Cosmic Radiance. Dodges all of that damage. Ghost is going to take down Rakan.
Jax is here.
Candy's all the way in the back. Let's see what Crazy can do. He's flashing onto Veritas. Completely takes him out of the fight. And that means that the rest of CJ is going to be routed. No more rocket jump here for Veritas. And there it will go down. Crazy picks up another kill. And BBQ, they're running away with another game.
No more rocket jump, but the music is playing louder than ever for Bono and the rest of BBQ. You've got a 21-minute Baron here. The Jax came in. Even though he had a great opportunity to split push down there, his addition on a 1 fight around Baron means that they get this objective, and they're shooting for the stars here. This looks like it's going to be another BBQ game in a clean fashion.
Yeah, I wish it were Sunday so we could call this Bloody Sunday. Do Bono a little bit of...
Is that a U2 song?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm not sure if that's the exact name, but that's the topic. Either way, another missed ult by Bono, but it doesn't really matter as the Cosmic Radiance is absolutely perfect. Look at the positioning of the AD carries as well.
It is, and Bono even missed his ultimate. This man is just using it as a statement against CJ at this point. He doesn't need ultimate. He's just saying, we can kill you without it. Every kill he's gotten has basically been without the ultimate, and the kill onto Tristana, onto the junglers. I think CJ's got a whole lot they can do in this, and then they should be thinking about the next game most likely. They still have a fighting chance, but the laners need to stay in the lanes and farm. That's so important.
Might be a little bit too far gone at this point. You know, so many kills being racked up on the side of Ghost and Tempt. I think at this point, they just need to sit back and defend. There's no way they can take a 5v5. Especially with the timing of Totoro's Cosmic Radiances. They've been
Look at the
absolutely
TP out of
perfect.
Maokai. They're shooting for Cog and Tarek. Wait a minute. What? Okay, it's on mid. Change of gears.
Okay, let's see if they can turn around onto this one.
It's still just as questionable.
Yeah.
That was
Desperate.
awful.
Pretty desperate at this point. That was the only ward they had in position to attempt any play like that, and
that's exactly it, Valis. You don't settle, and he's gonna die by himself.
Whoa, okay. Soul versus the world. Soul loses. He hit an ult! He hit him! He got Candy in the back. We have Crazy being jumped upon. It's a 4v3 right now, and a very nice Cataclysm will lock up 2 members. But meanwhile, more turrets, more destruction on the base of CJ.
He goes in, but he plays Martyr for the team, and now he's going to stop some bases. Here's that Ardent Blaze, rather.
I love it. Delaying these backs. Not going to be able to get an inhibitor at this point, but
it was good that the rest of the team were able to follow up onto Soul. And while it looked bizarre to see the Maokai jump in 1v3, it was everybody else collapsing that made that play worthwhile.
So they do make a play happen, but we do have Tempt on 4-0-2 and Ghost on 3-0-1.
Let's see where the rest of the squad is. Corki, Triss, Jarvan, they're all around, just not quite right away. The Maokai significantly tanky to live through this one. Does a bit of damage to the rest of the team. Let's see how it goes. They get baited by Bona.
Yeah.
They could have gotten away, actually. So that actually should have been a very bad move from Maokai, but he chose to, the rest of the team chose to re-engage out of Bona hitting his first ultimate. They're like, well, we gotta go on this one. They didn't pay attention that every time that he's missed is when they've won.
Yeah. Every time he hits, they lose the fight. Remember the time he got caught in the river? He hit that one onto Zyra, and they lost.
Yes,
they lost him.
did.
So there you go. Let's hope he throws it in the opposite direction.
Oh, I guess in game 1 where he hit the Zyra, they caught Zyra, but right at top side, top tier 1, he caught Zyra, but it was like a 5-man play.
That's true. Also, Zyra just ran straight into him.
Zyra's the exception to the rule.
Okay, we figured it out. There we go.
But what BBQ has figured out is this 1-3-1 is something that CJ is not prepared to deal with at all. I was mentioning don't settle, but CJ chose to settle for the worst ward instead of thinking of how to get the best vision possible to enact the most successful play. They have Soul TP to the most rancid position on the map and finds himself jumping into 3 people, which should have been the death, but they're going to Jax.
Oh, look at the Cosmic Radiance on Jax. There is no hope for this Maokai. Sufficiently tanky. Not this time. And that will be a free inhibitor for BBQ, making quick work of CJ at this point.
It's like this man is against the Amazon forest. Just chop all the trees down, giving himself away 24/7. There's nobody else ready to follow up without Pure and Wing willing to combine themselves for an engage. They are never going to win these battles. And now BBQ have a man advantage with Jack split pushing. And there's no way that CJ pulled this off unless BBQ dives.
I mean, look at this. They're going to go for the Cataclysm, though. They do have that AoE from the Corki. A nice engage by Pure once again, but I think they're just too far behind. They don't do enough damage, and they don't have Maokai. Down goes Tempt, or rather Pure, as Tempt picks up his 6th kill on the Rift here, and things are just getting out of control. BBQ looking to end game number 2.
Yeah, they are putting the pedal to the metal. They now see it, but they're going on to Jax without minions.
Okay, they're just going for it, man. They got no hope. We'll see. Soul is going to go down. The culling comes out, and Kog'Maw is getting a bit crazy. Can we give a little bit more kills to Tempt this time? They're not going to go for it, as BBQ will take down the 3rd inhibitor and game number 2 eventually.
Crazy's going to teleport. They're shooting for gold.
Yeah, they want this. Candy is coming out, but they are going to move on top of him. Tempt taking a bit of damage like Cosmic Radiance. He's only going to hit Totoro. And in the end of it all, they couldn't take out any Nexus turrets.
Well, it is really greedy to go for a 1, 2, 3 Nexus or inhibitors into Nexus in all one go. Your tank does not have enough HP, mana, resources, and you just want to spend the gold. After all, this game is pretty much in the bag.
Yeah,
it is in the bag, Valdez. We're just magicians, and we're not letting you know what's inside.
Yeah, our secret, phrases that we say means that you guys will stay in this one. But Yeah, it's kind of like solo queue strats, right? Where one player goes in, dies, another one goes in and dies. The team isn't playing as a team.
So CJ's trying to engage with Cataclysm, but that's no crowd control. That just says you can't leave this specific area. So they just start wailing onto them, and without BBQ initiating that dive, they have the position. They're able to retreat, keep the Cog and Lucian safe, and it looks like they got a lot of pointers at how to play AD carry, as a much improved Ghost still lives out of the Cataclysm.
Yeah, and you can see what happens when Tempt gets put on one of these carries. We said it so many times. And finally, they're beginning to listen. And I know it's against a weaker team like CJ, but he's shown that he can carry even in games in LCK when he gets given the right champions. So it's lovely to see Tempt come in here and just carry out of control on this Lucian from the mid lane. Really says a lot about this guy's potential, and they're just going to go for it. The engaged Wing is disengaging, but Soul is going to try to go in. Candy and Veritas not able to do much. Nice knock-up, though, on the backside there for CJ. Doesn't look like it's going to be enough. Tempt, though, is going to be CC'd down, but Ghost is at full health, full mana, chopping down the trees, chopping down everyone else on the side of CJ, and chopping down the Nexus for game 2.
Every single objective that belonged to CJ was BBQ's this game. Ruthless in their evisceration of CJ Entus, and now one game away from making it back to the LCK. They are angry here.
The Roosters, they were taunted by the Kongbu Monsters, but they've come back. They're chopping down CJ, making it look easy, making it look like they are, in fact, an LCK team, that they deserve to be there. Whereas CJ, we can't really say the same about them tonight.
They don't know what hit them. No preparation, VOD review of the promotion tournaments would have given them any indication that this BBQ would show up today. They're stunned. Everything that they could have looked at, all the information that was at most relevant to this specific tournament, out the window. A completely new BBQ, revitalized, is just wiping the floor with CJ.
And you can't ban out everything, right? You can't take away Lucian and Jax and all the other stuff that they want to take away, the Talia, the Corki. You can't take everything away from what BBQ has on their list of champions that they can play. So will be a very interesting ban pick for game number 3. We'll see if CJ can get something going into a reverse sweep or not after a commercial break.